All right, we in now.
All right.
Yes, sir. Got to wait on a couple of people to jump in. That lets me know we got it.
SRT in the building.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, y'all. What up? What up? What up? It's Sports Roundtable. We back in the building. It's another day, but it's a special day. Go ahead and throw your t-shirts up, baby, as we are supporting breast cancer awareness. Yes, sir. Akuros and SRT has teamed up to go ahead and put it all out there, man. Breast Breast Cancer Awareness Month is here. We wanted to make sure that SRT is doing something to show awareness. Akuros is a home fragrance that represents resiliency. It's a candle line straight out of New Orleans. Yes, sir. Our
That's what's up.
homegirl Monique Harper is doing her thing with a and we have teamed up with a partnership. During the time when everybody's trying to divide us, we're showing everybody that we can team up and actually do some things together. And we tonight are going to dedicate this to all the people who are surviving or have survived this terrible disease is breast cancer, as a Rose and SRT Sports Talk Radio is doing our thing to do what we can to bring awareness to that. And throughout this show, I got some facts that we're going to be talking about throughout the show. So, man, just hang on in there with us, man, and we'll go update you and we'll bring you some facts about breast breast cancer awareness, and we're gonna do the best we can to make this thing go. For whatever reason, Facebook didn't allow us to stream from our SRT page, so we are on YouTube and I think on my page, but for whatever reason, it doesn't look like it allowed us to do our thing on our own page. But with that being said, we're gonna keep this thing going, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got to do our recap for uh, what is it, week 8 for the college football.
Yeah,
And
week
you know
8.
the predictions are coming up next week, on Halloween.
Yeah, some good
Yeah,
trick or
and
treating
Halloween
coming
night,
in.
the yeah. So I mean, I want to get your predictions on how you think the top 4 is going to shape out, and possibly who's going to be right behind them in the top 5. So we're going to see how that works out. What else we got? Also, Mikey Williams is in the news, possibly facing 28 years in prison. Can't wait till my main man D will come on and talk to us about that. And he has signed with Memphis, so that's gonna be that's not gonna be the second straight year they've had one of the top guys come in and some things happen and whatever the case may be. But
But
we'll end up
they could
finding
not
out what's
have
going
him
on with
and
Mike
Ja
Williams.
Morant in the same
First of all,
city.
are you even surprised?
Well, they couldn't have him and Ja Morant in the same
Oh,
city. It just wouldn't work.
that's what it is.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's a shame. I'm making light of the situation, but it's a shame that the young man is facing. You know, to me, these are unforced errors. I keep saying when you continue to put yourself in positions like this, and I won't sit here and say that I know that everything about it, but man, you look like when the sky's the limit, And certain things I've heard about it could have been avoided. So, sad situation, man. Sad situation. But, I think superstardom and whatever that we've seen from that, they've been paid with some casualties along the way. We've seen some other guys that probably could have had better careers and got derailed, or some people we never heard of, and he'll be in that list, the way it's heading. So maybe he can come back from it. I'm sure D. Will can shed some light on it, and we'll see. I hope for his sake, not only just basketball, he gets his life together. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's a tough blow right there. He has been touted with ever since the ninth grader, right?
Right.
He's been touted ever since like the 9th grade, and he moved back out to California to continue his high school education after spending a year in North Carolina. So I don't know where does this kind of fall on parental guidance, in your opinion?
Don't know, because like I said, I don't know his situation. So I can't say what his parents, did or didn't do or weren't there. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to D. Will shedding more light on the situation. He just a lot of times, like you said, foundations, man. If you don't have that structure and foundation growing up, things can happen. So, again, I do not know the ins and outs. That's why we got D. Will on this, and hopefully he can shed more light.
That's pretty bad. I mean, Penny can't catch a break down there at Memphis, can he?
Yeah, I always tell you have to have some dogs on your team to win, and he's had some. I won't even talk about what's the kid that did make it to the pros that came in so highly touted that graduated early from high school and went to Memphis and never panned out on the college level. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Imani Bates, was supposed to be the next big thing. And a lot of times, man, these kids are shown so much and given so much at early ages that, they don't really get the structure or struggle in their lives to become, maybe better than they could be or respect what they have, until they lose some of it. So I'm sure Imani feels at least he's made it to his ultimate goal of being in the league. But man, he was one of those guys we looked upon as maybe a star, and now he might not measure up. But as far as what Penny is recruiting, you have to go out after the best players, man. That's well, I don't know, because at Duke for a long time they didn't go after every top-notch player. They built that program until they started to get more of the 5-star kids like we saw with Elton Brand and that crew. To me, that's when he started to really get crops of guys. And I'm speaking of Krzyzewski. Before that, he would recruit to the program and they would build. Not that they didn't have talent, but they weren't these proverbial superstars that we see coming into the next level. So, the game changed, but he was able to keep changing with it. Other guys, other programs, they continue to try to get that top-notch talent, and with that, sometimes it's a problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, waiting on D. Will to sign in. He just texted me and said he on his way to the studio. But the NBA is back.
Oh,
did you
man.
catch anything last night on the first?
Yeah, man. Yes, I did. And I'm going to start out by saying, before we heard, I guess for the last 10 years or so, Golden State's owner would come out and say that they were 10 years ahead of everybody and if nobody was catching up with what they were doing. But I think in their, I guess, want or whatever you want to call it, to stay relevant and then build and then still keep their core together, they won another championship. But I think they've made some, let's say, calculated mistakes with the young core. First of all, there was Wiseman that didn't pan out. And now they've kind of put Kuminga in this boat to say that he's going to be the heir apparent or be the next, he and a couple of guys would be the next generation to carry this thing on after Steph. And we just don't see organizations continue to stay at that level this long that way. Pretty much you have to lose and then get some, started over. And I think if they want to make another run, and this might be a little controversial, if they really want to make a run with this last core or whatever, they need to think about moving Kuminga. They need to think about moving the other kid from Arkansas and trying to get some players around because they don't have enough size or players to win right now. And I think they should make a move for some bigs to help the squad. Other than that, they will not make a deep run in playoffs this year. I just don't see it. They're too small.
Charles Barkley came out and said they're the fourth best team in California.
Well, I still won't put them behind the Clippers because we don't know Kawhi, how many games they're going to play, he and Paul George. So I still can't put them behind them. But Sacramento, I think, is ahead of them. The Lakers, maybe, because injuries could take either injuries and lack of playing with those two. LeBron could break down. He's in uncharted territory. He still has he has a lot of game left, but how long can he play at that level, for the full season? And we've seen AD, it's just a matter of time before he goes out. It's just going to happen. It's like death, taxes, and Christmas. It's coming. He's going to miss time. So I'm not ready to say that they're behind the Lakers. I think the Lakers are a little ahead, but will they stay there? That's the thing. I don't know. But definitely, I think Sacramento has
the Hawks started off the night in Charlotte. Yeah, you think the Hawks need to win their first game tonight just to try to take the pressure off of a disappointing ending to last year?
Well, yeah, the thing is,
they need to start off hot.
Their leader, the much maligned leader, has to come out and they have to get off to a good start. You don't want this to start to build and here we go again. Trey is ruining this team and it was like he got such a bad rap and everything last year. But you said this and I had to take a step back and think about it. What has Doncic done that Trey hadn't done? They're the same. When you look at their careers and what they've done and how far they've taken their teams, there's no difference. It's just that Doncic is liked and Trey is basically despised. He's just not disliked. He's despised and just disparaged on everything, basketball related. And they talk about what he doesn't do and all that. So I just I'd like to see him get off to a start to kind of silence some of these critics because I don't think it's half as bad as when you look at the totality of what he's done, he can't be put in as a bad. Now he's killed some coaches, looks like, and he's had some differences with coaches. Let's not say I'll take that kill coach back, but there hadn't been a smooth coaching situation around him yet. He just hadn't found that right situation yet. So
this will be their first game without John Collins in about 4 years.
And they're about 2 years too long. They should have gotten about 2 years too long. Now John Collins will go down to Dallas and probably succeed in that. Utah. I'm sorry. They should have traded him Dallas when they had a chance. But Utah. I think he'll succeed there. And they'll find a way to fit him in. He'll be a role player. But I think when he was with the Hawks, you were trying to put him in a position to be one of the stars on the team. And that should have never been his role. He should have never been, put into that situation where you put $100 million on him and say he's got to be part of a championship. He's not that. He's a role player.
All right, man. So let's officially start this SRT Hot News. SRT Hot News. Yes, sir. Sponsored by our old friend, Big Easy Grill. 1193 Collier Road. Big Easy Grill is the place to be and the place to go ahead and get the best Louisiana seafood in town. The best shrimp in town. Takes 2 bites to get rid of 1 shrimp. Big Easy Grill is the place to be. Come on over to the Big Easy Grill. We might even meet you there.
You
Don't
know
meet
it.
us there, beat us there.
Beat
And,
us there.
yeah, the crab claws off the chain as well. So again, Big Easy Grill is the place to be. 1193 Collier Road. Meet us there. Beat us there. Don't meet us there. All right, Han, let's go ahead and jump into this college football recap week 8. Deion and them had a week off, so we don't have to talk about Prime. The only thing we can say about them is they was at the Denver game last night. They get more camera time than the man I know. They was at the Denver and Laker game last night, primed up.
Living the
Shadur was
life.
there and Travis was there. So look, Deion had both of his sons in the game at the game.
Yeah, well, where was his other blood related son? You know, they treat what's his name, Shiloh.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shiloh like my man on what was in the Godfather, the Fredo. They treat him like Fredo. He don't get that love, man, and I don't understand. I mean, he's made some plays this year and done some things, but Shiloh is the golden child, and you can see it. You know, it is what it is, and I think Prime has hitched his wagon to that. But you know, who was that? Someone says that some fathers have their favorites. You know, it's just and I got sons. I don't have favorites. I love them all the same. You know, but it seems like, and I'm looking at it from a 30,000-foot view. You know, so me saying that, I'm just talking. I can't say, but it sure seems like that when the lights come on, Shadur gets the love. But yeah, they are. I thought we get more negative stuff from the media from seeing them at the game, sitting front row like they were, those two, and Prime there. I said, oh, they're gonna grill them. But I didn't hear as much as I thought I would hear. I thought they, really go in on Deion and them sitting like that and, being basically mic'd up or, all the shine on them like that. So
yeah, at least LeBron came out and said hey to him and spoke with him and all that. So
yeah, well, money begets money, baby. You know how that is.
Yeah, there you go. All right, but speaking of football, Washington did not look so good this past week.
Yeah. Well, this is where we talk about, when I said 18, 19-year-old kids, it's hard to play big time football, big time game, and then the next week come out and play the same caliber. It just doesn't happen. These are kids, and they have other things on their mind. We see it happen in stretches of the games where they lose, focus or whatever. So after that big emotional win against Oregon, you knew they were going to come out flat. It's just the nature of college football. You and I, we've talked about it with Slick when we've done our, fruit cup things and talked about it, who we were going to pick the previous week or the week prior to a big game or who they were playing after a big game. It plays into it. And this was what happened. But the main thing on it was, what did they do? They came out with the dub.
Yeah, they did. Came out with a dub. Does this put which after the showing that Michael Penix had in the second straight showing to Caleb Williams, do we need to put what we thought, what we learned, and what we now know on the Caleb Williams and the Michael Penix?
I think the jury's still out on Penix because he has time to redeem himself and still win the Heisman. I think that boat is sailed on Caleb. For one thing, he won it already. So he came back having to, what would he have to do to win it again? They're going to always compare what you did the previous year. He could probably put up the same or better numbers and still not be respected enough to win it. It's just the nature of the business and the nature of the beast. We see all the time where, what did I do different than this year? And I still don't get the accolades that I got from last year because you were the new toy. But I think that's it for Caleb. The 2 losses, the kind of 2 poor showings, and then almost a pouting, on the sideline. I think that really, how America is. Once that camera's on you and you look like, you're about you and not about the win didn't hurt you. It was about you, everything that you had coming back to this season is gone now. So does he continue to play? You know what I mean? If I'm his father, what is he playing for now? He's already probably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. So the national title hopes are gone. The only thing that could happen to him is, I don't even want to say it. You know what I mean? I won't even say it because I don't want to put it in the atmosphere. But what does he have to prove by playing right now?
Now, there's a statement about him saying that he wants 10% of the organization of the team that drafted him, and also he can come back to school and make more money if he don't get drafted to the team that he want to play for. Does all that play a role in him getting drafted and him kind of trying to work his way to where he want to play and getting the things that he want to get out of this deal?
If he wants to play, I mean, he can come back, and like you said, we already said how much money he can make. That's not going to change, I don't believe. I think those deals are pretty much solid. If he wants to come back, he's going to get paid. That percentage thing of owning the team, I'm not sure that's going to happen. We don't see that. I mean, I can say I want to wake up in the morning to be 6'5". I can want all I want, but I don't think that's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to get a percentage. You always want to try to change the game. And if it did happen, that would be great, to have a player come in and get a percentage. And, because the money is out there. And we know they make billions of dollars because of what they pay in salaries. So, but I don't think a player, especially out of college, you hadn't done anything for the organization. You think they're going to give you a piece of it? It's not happening. I don't see it.
Look like we up on Facebook Live now.
Okay. They don't want to set a president. We've seen that in football for years. I mean, they don't want to set a president now of paying a running back. So do you think they want to give a percentage of a player coming out of college? Man, please, Kraft and all those people, they talk. Don't you do that. We're not doing that. And that won't happen. I don't foresee that at all.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. Your Florida State ball is looking good, Han. I know you want to whistle past the graveyard real soft, but I'm gonna have to give y'all credit. I did not think that quarterback was gonna play up to this level. And actually, he's in the catbird seat for New York. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, he gonna get a ticket to go, but this is if Michael Penix runs the table in the Pac-12 and continues to put up 3-4 touchdowns a week, 3 to 400 yards a game passing, he's gonna get it. He's got that. All right, he's got it locked. But I do think they're gonna lose to Oregon the next time they play. That's just between me and you. I know ain't nobody that listen, but that's between me and you. But I think Jordan Travis is having a good year. A real good year. But
yeah, don't downplay it, Han. I know it's a team, but don't whistle past the graveyard.
But he'll do some stuff, man. When the pressure's on, sometimes he'll throw passes in a panic mode. I've seen it. Now he has 2 stud receivers, and that's what you need, to succeed. He has guys out there with big catch radius. He had a 6'8" wide receiver out there that I think his name is Wilson. And he's a beast. He go play at the next level. I mean, he's agile. You just don't see guys that size be able to do some of the things that he does. So it's some NFL scouts are licking the chops for this dude. He's nice.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Georgia is without Brock Bowers for 4 to 6 weeks. How do you think that affects them?
Luckily, they have a schedule that may be conducive to them still running the table. So I think they'll be fine in that respect. But anytime you lose a player, the caliber of him, Brock Bowers, you're going to suffer some. But like this is what you and I talked about. You know, when we talked about that statement of next man up. I think it's next team members up. You know, you won't be able to find. You can't go to the locker room and say, okay, I got somebody just to replace him. You know, last year they had that luxury, like I said, with the 2 tight ends that they had in Washington and Bowers. You know, you might not have had everything that Bowers could do, but Bowers couldn't do everything
Washington can do.
That size
he had,
that was
unmeasured.
So
last year, this year, that way.
They have to be
more
to fill that void has left.
All right, that's it.
All right, that's it. As y'all can see, my main man D Will is in the building.
You got an echo going.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a
do.
All right, that should
work, right?
Like you said,
I can see it.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, you're not getting echo.
Nah, I'm not getting one.
Okay, let me see.
All right,
we're doing a recap of college football week 8.
And we
talk about Caleb Williams
and how he
has
regressed and does the statement
he's
made over
the last couple of weeks affect
his draft status.
No. No, nobody cares about that, man. They know the kid can play. We all know that USC sucks, right? We all knew that the only talent on that team was Caleb Williams. And until he ran up against teams that were superior, you didn't see all the flaws that were the USC Trojans. Now, me and Hancock sat on here several times over the last month or so, talking about how bad USC's defense is. And if they can't stop a bloody nose and Caleb Williams is asked to score each and every time that he has the football, you're going to see a quarterback that's pressing. And he's going to try things and do things that turn into mistakes. So no, I don't think it hurts his draft status. The comments that he made, people are going to try to make them like, oh, he said that. Well, that ain't the reason he played bad. That ain't the reason he threw 3 interceptions in the first half, because he said he wanted a part owner of a franchise. That has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. So no, I don't think it hurt his draft status. He's the same player that he was a month ago that he is today. Just so happens that he's on a really bad team, and the flaws of that team are starting to show. And in turn, it makes him look as if he's not the player that we once said he was.
Let's talk about Brock Bowers.
Before you move on, can I ask D Will a question? And D Will, you probably know where I'm going.
I do.
Since the national championship is gone.
I do it.
What is he praying for?
Well, the reason I would say he's playing because of the comments that he made, right? Not the ones about wanting to own a franchise, the ones about I can make more money in NIL. He got to keep that NIL money coming. And that NIL money doesn't come unless you're on the field. Now, I understand the NFL is the next step, but who's to say he comes out this year? Like if he doesn't get the favorable pick that he wants at number 1, I truly believe, like his dad said, they'll come back to school. And if he comes back to school, what does he have to do to get that NIL money? He has to play. Now, I'm with you. If I'm his daddy, we ain't coming back to school, and we ain't playing no more football this year. Period. Right? We're sitting it out. We're chilling. It is over with for the year because we understood, and they knew more than we knew, but we the ones that said it. We knew the top was going to come off the USC Trojans. We knew they were a bad football team, right? So we were hoping that Caleb Williams could supersede all of the badness that is the USC Trojans. But now that they've lost several games, you no longer see that being the case, and they no longer have a chance to win the Pac-12, so why play at all? I get it, but we're in a new age, Hancock. It ain't about let me sit out so I can get that big money. They already getting big money. So why would I sit out if I'm already getting paid?
Yeah.
I
I
understand it.
I think I can't play the rest of my life in college. But I got a 10 career pro football.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. I listen. I think he's gonna make upwards of $4 to $5 million this year. I think he's okay with making $4 to $5 million.
Yeah.
Right. And next year, if he comes back, they say his NIL valuation will be around $10 million. I think he'll be okay with making $10 million for 1 year, because if he goes to the NFL, he's not making much more than that. Right. So I get it this year. Like now in the future, it's big money out there for him to be made. If Daniel Jones getting 40, Caleb Williams gonna get 90. Like I get where it's coming from, but if an injury happens now, I don't think it's gonna hurt him to the point in the future where he still won't get his big money.
Right.
Yeah, I
man, that echo is killing me.
You still hear it?
Yeah, it's coming through.
They say HO is echoing.
Yeah.
You hear it? You hear me echoing?
No, yours is
good.
But I hear it myself.
Yeah.
Try to put your
the echo is killing me.
Try to put your y'all on y'all laptop.
Yeah.
Hit mute on your laptop. I know Big HO because you got the board. Try to see if mute on your laptop work. Mic check.
My check.
Right here,
Y'all
mute.
still
Right here, mute. I think.
It muted your mic.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Still got echo.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still.
I'm still.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we got
Hey, crazy. We do the same thing every week, and then all of a sudden you just gonna get an echo out of nowhere. Technology's crazy, man.
Tell him.
At first, the
Facebook one let us record.
Do you think that was what had something to do?
Man, I
don't even know.
Tell everybody to move over to YouTube and shut down the Facebook.
Yeah, the Facebook
might have done it first.
I can take Facebook.
I can take Facebook off.
Try that right quick.
See what happens.
Okay, what about now?
I still hear it.
Yeah, it was working fine.
Y'all were hearing it before I came on?
No, it was straight.
Make sure there ain't nothing on my end. Yeah, I'm all
right.
muted.
We're gonna give you something to talk. Let's talk about Mikey Williams.
Talk about Mikey Williams, and we'll just listen to you talk about that.
Oh, Jesus Christ, have mercy. Mikey Williams is the typical story of what we see from young guys that are set to be the next it thing in today's society with social media that hit the brick wall. And what I mean by that is, if you go back into history, we love saying that LeBron James is the poster child of making it, correct? Like, he's the one with all the hype that came out of nowhere that actually made it, right? He made good on the promise that he was going to be the next coming. However, he grew up just a little bit before social media, right? LeBron James came into the NBA before social media was what it is now. And with that, I think LeBron James skated past some of the things that you see today. Now, we'll go back and say this. If you look over recent history, take Imani Bates, for example, right? Imani Bates had the same hype around him coming out of high school, and they tried to stick him to the wall. However, he was able to make it out not so much unscathed, but it didn't kill his career aspirations with him still being drafted in the second round of this year's past NBA draft and now making the roster for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he was able to make it. However, for Mikey Williams was one of the most polarized high school basketball players that we've seen over the last 20 years. Without a doubt, I don't care what anybody says, Mikey Williams was one of the biggest names in high school basketball we've ever seen. And to the tune of him getting a shoe deal before he graduated high school with Puma, and also being a multi-millionaire before he turned the age of 17. So with all of that, right? With all of that, you knew that the vultures were coming, right? You knew that the setup was in the works. And unfortunately, he fell for it. Now, I will say this for Mikey's sake. I think the downfall came from Mikey Williams when he went on the Pivot podcast. If y'all remember, you go back and you watch his episode on the Pivot podcast, Ryan Clark asked him a question about his future. And his response was, I already got bread. I'm already rich. The powers that be didn't like that, y'all. I think because of his persona and the team that he has around him, the purpose that he did that podcast was because they wanted to keep him in the limelight. And with him being so much in the limelight and him doing a grown-up interview as a child and making a comment like, I'm already rich, so basically I don't need basketball. Soon after that, the incident in California happened with the gun and him supposedly shooting at somebody at a party. And I want y'all to really focus in on what I'm about to say. At his house. He had his own house in Cali at 18, right? Like, he's living as a full-blown grown-up, and he's not even graduated high school. He already has his own house. So the downfall was already on for Mikey. And now that he's in this situation, y'all, now I know they say he's facing 28 years. I don't think that's going to happen. Let's not get carried away, right? If he's found guilty, he's not going to do that much time. Now, is it possible that they could stick him to the wall? Yes, it's very possible, right? It's very, very possible. But I will say this, he's not helping himself. And the circle around him that put him on the Pivot podcast is failing him now. Because right after Mikey Williams leaves the courtroom from being indicted to have to go to trial and face the facts of these charges, he put up a picture of himself on social media in the courtroom. And under that picture, he has the caption of a Rilo Rodriguez rap lyric talking about I don't care, the judge got a judge, all like he's a gangster, right? Like, this all helps. What we have seen the fall of Mikey Williams, because I want y'all to tell me this. Name me a recent 6'2" guard in the NBA. I'm not talking about the Chris Pauls of old and all the guys from yesteryear. I'm talking about in this generation of NBA basketball. Show me the 6'2" point guard. He's not there. He ain't there. Mikey Williams is a 6'2" point guard. I don't care how athletic you are. Your game does not translate to the highest level. Now, we can say your game doesn't translate and you got this baggage. Mikey Williams would never make it. And unfortunately, we watch social media and the need for attention kill a kid's career. And that's exactly what happened to Mikey Williams.
Wow. That's big. And I still hear echo.
God, I was hoping the echo was gone.
Yeah, it's bad. You sound yours fine.
Reason.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's like two people talking
every time.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. All
right, D. Will, the
NBA is back.
Whoop, whoop.
Hancock
was talking about this earlier.
About Golden State,
and
just give me your thoughts.
On the first game
that you saw last night.
Now, in the first game, I will say this: in the Lakers Denver game, Denver's just better than LA. Joker is just better than Anthony Davis, and that's what it boils down to. Nikola Jokic was the best player on the court last night, and it's not even close. Jamal Murray played very well. Kendarius Caldwell-Pope played very well. Aaron Gordon played very well. LeBron James played well, didn't play a lot of minutes. Austin Reeves played very well, didn't play a lot of minutes. Anthony Davis stunk up the joint, right? And I am highly disappointed in Anthony Davis. What we saw last night was that what I said earlier. Joker is just better than LA. They have absolutely nothing that they can do with him. He controls every aspect of the game. He controls pace. He controls flow of the offense. And oddly enough, he controls the defensive end of the floor because LA is so hung up on showing that Anthony Davis can go head to head with Jokic that their offense has no continuity. It's all Anthony, go kill Jokic. Anthony Davis cannot kill Jokic. He cannot do anything against him. And on the other end, it becomes frustrating because he is absolutely murdering Anthony Davis. So what does that do to LA? It does something to them where they cannot get over the hump for Denver. You just saw that last night. I really, truly believe that the LA Lakers are going to have an exceptional season this year. I think they have the opportunity to make another playoff run to maybe a Western Conference Finals. However, if they got to see Denver at any point during the playoffs, it's a wrap. I mean, it's an absolute complete wrap. They cannot play with them. As for Golden State, I don't know, y'all. It's what me and Hancock, we said this before. What is that offense going to look like? Because Chris Paul plays a completely different game than the Golden State Warriors play and have won with for several years, to the tune of 4 championships. They do not play that style. If you watch last night's game, I think Steph Curry had one assist. One assist. You know why he had only 1 assist, where he averages 7 assists for his career? You know why he had 1 assist? Because the ball was stuck in Chris Paul's hands. And I don't care what anybody says. In order for Chris Paul to be successful on a basketball court, the ball has to be stuck in his hands. And if that's the way and the flow of the game that they're expecting to play with the Golden State Warriors, this is not going to be their year, y'all. Yeah. I understand Draymond Green went out there. He initiates a lot of the offense. He has a lot to do with that. He anchors their defense. I get it. He wasn't there. We did not see the Golden State that we may see later on. However, I just don't see how it's going to work with Chris Paul, because who is suffering the most? And I know y'all think I'm going to say Steph Curry. No, it's Klay Thompson.
Right.
Klay Thompson doesn't know where to go on the floor, because you got Steph Curry coming off 1,000 screens and you got Chris Paul playing in the pick and roll. Do you expect Klay Thompson just to go stand in the corner? Just go stand in the corner and become a spot up shooter. You saw the frustration in his face last night, because once he started missing a bunch of shots, I think he started off 1 for 6 from the field. You start seeing it, and then he hit 2 or 3 in a row. He had a pull-up little jump shot on the right wing, little fadeaway, and then he hit the 3 ball coming down in transition. Right. A lot of those shots that Klay Thompson would have gotten in the flow of transition in the past, Chris Paul took those shots. He was 0 for 6 from the 3-point line.
Chris Paul taking 6 3-pointers is not a recipe for success in today's NBA. And it's definitely not a recipe for success for the Golden State Warriors. So last night, I saw a couple of things that concerned me with the Los Angeles Lakers. They can't beat Denver. They're not going to be able to beat Denver. I don't care how they slice it. I don't see them being able to win a series against the Denver Nuggets. And for Golden State Warriors, they're going to have to figure out another way to play because the ball being stuck in Chris Paul's hands is just not going to work.
Well, I hope we're not echoing. I can't hear myself anymore. How do we sound now? Can you hear me?
You good?
Okay, good.
And we
you
both
good?
good.
I don't hear the echo. But D-Will, I said something before you came on, the big homie, was that we had heard Golden State talk about they were light years ahead of the NBA. You remember hearing that statement by their owners and people around the organization about all the moves that they have made and all this kind of stuff. Well, I think the light years have caught up. You can't hear me? Can you hear me, D-Will?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I hear
Yeah, I
everybody.
don't know. I guess I might have disconnected from the board.
Yeah, we can hear you. Let me give you a chance to get back on.
But go ahead, Han. Go on and finish. I can hear you.
I don't know if he can hear me, but that's why I say I would pretty much be redundant if he can't hear me. But I was saying that, well, I think he's even frozen now. I don't know if and for all the people that are just tuning in, I think Golden State needs to make a move. And that move needs to be with Kuminga and Moody. They need to pair that up with something and build this team in a way that they get more size and a little more athletic. The other guys, the 3 core players now, and Looney has no athleticism. He cannot finish around the rim. So when Chris Paul does break down the defense and shoehorns the ball to his big can't finish. Looney has all kinds of trouble. Even when he runs a screen and roll, when he rolls to the basket, you hold your breath because he might not get it over the top of the rim to get it in the basket. One crawled over, a couple of them missed, and then the addition of what's the big guy they got, the foreign guy that can shoot.
Sir.
Yeah, whatever his name is. I can't think his name right now. But he can't finish around the rim. His game is predicated on being a stretch. So now you're asking him to do things that he's not comfortable with. I know he missed 4 or 5 layups early in the game that, probably could have had the game going a different way. So I just don't think that they're built right with the addition of Chris Paul. I didn't like it initially. Then I kind of reevaluated and said, well, maybe he'll come in and help the second unit. But I don't think they don't want to step on his toes, and he's trying to fit in. He needs to be coming off the bench. If you're going to use Chris Paul, he shouldn't be in the starting lineup with Steph and Clay. He should probably play some minutes, but he should be coming in and running the second unit because that's where he needs to be effective with that team. They're just too small in the backcourt. In this game, just like D-Will said, where are the 6'2" guards coming in the league anymore? They're not. You're getting guards coming in at 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", with a wingspan. Your wings can defend. They can come in now. Booker had no problems entering the ball. He turned the ball over on some of them just with bad selections or bad plays. But he's able to enter the ball over Chris Paul and Steph anytime he wanted to last night. And we're talking about a guy that is not really a legit point guard. He's playing the position out of necessity. Phoenix has no point guard. They're playing positionless basketball. But
hey, how many times did you see Booker look like Kobe last night?
That's what I mean. He does, but he's able to. He had no problem getting the ball to any spot he wants. Yes.
Yeah.
He had no problem.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
I cannot hear y'all.
He can't hear us.
My ears are out.
But he had no problem getting the ball to any spot he wanted to. He had no problem getting to where he wanted to, for sure. But he could just throw the ball over the top of Steph and Chris anytime he wanted to. So I think they need to make a move. And I would have loved to hear D-Will thought if he's on the same page with me. I just think that they need to move Kuminga and Moody. I think that experiment is not going to work.
Hey, how much does this fall on Steve Kerr, though, Han, as far as the coaching? And because you had to start Chris Paul because Draymond was out.
Well, you started Chris Paul because you traded for him. I also understand. I don't understand the trade. You know,
Right,
I don't know.
right.
He had to sign off on it. And I don't know what he saw. Maybe, like I said, maybe he saw that last year's Golden State starters were, I think they were some of the best when the percentage-wise or whatever, scoring and everything. They were great until they went to the bench. And then that's when everything would fall apart. So maybe he thought with the addition of Chris Paul, he would come in and they wouldn't lose the continuity and you know, have the turnovers. And to their credit, last night, they had less turnovers than Phoenix. You know, they had less turnovers than they averaged last year, way under. But it's just not, it looks like, it just didn't look like he belonged in Golden State's offense. And I agree with, there's no ball movement. You know, we used to seeing Steph pass and replace and go to the corner. All that was gone. You know, and now maybe with the, you know, when Draymond comes back, that changes. But from what I saw, it just looks, it just looks disjointed, man. It looks real disjointed.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till, I think the Lakers made a grave error
The
in
Hawks
paying.
up 35-31 second quarter right now.
Yeah. I think they made a great mistake by paying Anthony Davis all that money. Now, they could still probably move that contract because people still consider him top 5 to 10 player in the game. So they could probably move him. I think LeBron is on his last leg. And like I said to you before, they're going to miss games. It just, they are. And, you know, it just is what it is when you look at this Laker roster. Now, and when one of those guys go out, if they're, you saw last night, they're the offense. He and Anthony Davis and LeBron, they're the guys. So when they're out and whatever, do you trust this bench? You know, do you trust this team? Do you trust? I don't. I really don't. And I don't trust Anthony Davis because I don't know how many games he's going to play. He said CP3 is a black hole.
Yeah, there go D Will. Let me see if I can bring it back on.
I can bring it back on.
Tell me it's gone. Tell me y'all got no echo and we good.
Oh, it's not.
It's back.
It's back.
It's back.
It's something when
It's
you
something when you
get your
get
soundboard.
the soundboard in.
Yeah,
I got everything.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Say it again, Big
Say it again, Big O.
Yeah, I ain't got no echo.
Yeah, I ain't got no echo though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
We both do.
We both do.
I hear it after
I hear it after I say something.
It's like I'm in.
It's like I'm in.
It's a voice coming.
It's a voice coming back.
Half
behind me.
Same thing when you
Same
talk.
thing when you talk.
When D Will says
D
something,
Will says something I don't hear.
That's weird.
I don't hear no echo.
Weird.
from
I don't hear no echo from D Will though.
No, not D Will.
No, not D Will. Just you and I.
Put my
I don't
IT
know how
hat
that's
on.
possible.
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible.
Say something again, Big Homie. Yeah, we still.
Yeah, we still upstairs.
Yeah, I'm echoing.
Yeah, I'm
now.
echoing to death now.
Oh goodness. Oh good. What about
Let's see
now?
what else I had.
Let me see what else I had on that.
It's still there.
It's still there.
All right, so let's
try to
All right. Well,
Get
I'll work through this. I'll work through this, and then I'll see if we can change up. I'll try something else.
Okay.
All right, let's get
All right,
to
let's get to our predictions
college
for
football for next week.
For next week.
Ham, I'm gonna let you go first.
And I'm gonna let you go first.
You would so much of an echo. You say
predictions of
College football next week. College football predictions for this upcoming week.
First we look at some game. You ready? Go ahead.
Y'all ready for the big one? And I know I'm finna get some kickback from the chat. I got Florida upsetting Georgia.
Ooh.
In the world's largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville, Florida, which could be one of the last 2 to ever be played in Jacksonville, because when the contract is up in 2025, I believe that they will take these games to the swamp and in between the hedges from now on, which it should be, because Hand doing the Johnny Manziel right now. It's all about the dollar bill. Why give Jacksonville all that money when we can keep it for ourselves? And that's what's about to happen. And they have to do it with realignment coming and the conference really changing. We all know traditions and rivalry games are about to be thrown out the window. Nobody cares about it anymore. They're about to get rid of those. So with that being said, they're about to move it. I believe there's some mojo in there. I know Florida's down. I know they're not playing very good football. And I know that Georgia has been playing better the last few weeks. But I got a feeling my upset of the week is Florida will upset Georgia.
Who played quarterback?
I got some.
And I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
I just don't see it. I know Brock Bowers is out, but I think Trevor's going to play close to the old-fashioned SEC football. Under football, don't turn it over. Keep Florida out of the end zone. Keep the big plays down. He don't care if he wins 6-3. He just want to win. Back to old time football. And I just think he still got more athletes. Florida got some skill. Etienne is it. But I just think Georgia's going to. The thing we talk about is when your antennas are up. And I think Georgia is game, just like they were. When they decided there's somebody over there. I think they'll be up for this game. We talk about kids. I think this is going to be a week.
And I agree with you, Han. They're just more physical than Florida. They can beat Florida just by being physical. Like, we got better players, we got better athletes, and we're going to show you that we have better players and better athletes. But fellas, I think we still got the big echo. I think the echo is killing the show.
It's killing.
Yeah, and I don't know if I disconnect my board, I don't know if I can hear. That's why I had trouble hearing y'all a minute ago, because when I disconnect my board, I don't hear anything.
You may have to go.
Yeah, but I'm saying even when I took off the headphones, because I got it plugged, the way I got my phone plugged up into my computer is pushing out. So I'm gonna have to disconnect everything and see if I can just run through the sound of the telephone and see if that works. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I will say this. I think this, and see the echo gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. I think this. I think Ohio State may be 1 or 2 next week.
They will be, I believe, but I don't think they're. Now they proved the point by going in and beating Penn State the way they did. But remember what I talked about? Penn State just doesn't perform in big games. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Little game James Franklin. That's what his nickname needs to be. Not big game, but little game James. They just don't measure up whenever it's a big time game in their sights. Penn State lays an egg. But I don't really think they have some good quality players. Little two guns, what I call them. The wide receiver is legit. He's big time. But as a whole, I don't respect the quarterback at Ohio State. I don't think they're that good. They probably will be ranked higher because that was a huge win. They've won at Notre Dame. They won at Penn State. So you can only.
They got the best record. They got the best 2 wins in college football. Right
that's what I'm about to say. You cannot knock them as to where they've won. So that's why you got to give them props. But I just don't respect them as that big of a team like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll stay at 1 or 2, but I do think because of the ranking, I think that Ohio State will be 1 or 2 coming into, after we talk next week.
Yeah,
because of the 2 wins, 2 top 10 wins against top 10. schools, then yeah, I think so. And there's a question in the chat that I think we had talked about it earlier, and is
Right.
do you think the scandal will hurt Michigan?
Maybe popular wise, but not on the field. When they flip that coin and say let's play ball, Michigan got one of the better teams in the nation. It's not many teams that are gonna be able to stand up with them, man. So it might hurt in the respect of people, kind of dogging the program or saying they're cheaters or whatever. But you know what that'll do? That'll galvanize those kids. And now it's a us against the world mentality. And if you're already good and you come together even more, it's gonna be hard to beat, man. That team is good. Harbaugh took time to get that thing running and rolling, but he got it going right now. They're a good football program. They really are. Now, what I do think this is going to do, Big Homie, D. Will, I don't know if you can hear me, but I think this drives Harbaugh to the NFL. I think he's going to be tired of all the drama. He's tired of everything going back and forth and all of what's happened. He's already proved he can win at every level. It doesn't matter if you're playing strategy football, real football, electronic football. He wins eventually. He gets his program, and they're a tough football team. They come out and play physical football, and we always talk about being strong and physical and good close to the ball. That's one thing you can count on when you talk about a Harbaugh coach team. They're going to be physical. They're going to be strong. They're going to run the football. And, those offensive defensive lines are going to really be the strength of their teams. So I see him going to the next level. There's some NFL GMs out there licking their chops now, and they just loving that the NCAA is going to push him back toward the NFL. He's coming.
Hey, D. Will, you want to talk about Michigan's allegations? Me and Han been trying to figure this out. We don't have a hold on it right now, and I know we know they got a staff. They had a staffer that bought tickets to games and go and film signs, but is it really cheating? Does it just look bad, or the NCAA got a rule? But what's the rule to it? Is it scouting or is it cheating?
Well, the NCAA has absolutely no precedence in this situation. They can't do anything. The only thing the NCAA can do is be pissed off that Michigan did it, right? If any punishment is to be levied, it would have to come from the Big Ten. And it would be dumb as hell for the Big Ten to do absolutely anything to Michigan, who is the team that has the best chance from that conference to represent them in the college football playoff. So no, there's nothing going to happen. Now, the actual allegations, who gives a damn, right? Who cares? Like, we all steal signs. If you want to know, listen, how many times have you heard stories of a defense being on the field and say, hey, they're about to run this play right here? And where does that come from? Film study. When people go in and say we're studying film, they're not studying their damn self. They're not looking at their own games. They're going to watch the other team's games. They're going to watch tendencies. They're going to watch formations. They're going to watch plays that work out of formations. That's all they're watching. Hello. There's a coach assigned to every single team on your schedule. It is that coach's job to produce the game plan for that team. What do you think that coach does every day? He's going to watch every single play that team's running, and he's writing it down, and he's reporting that back. What's the difference that you're going to sit me on the 45-yard line, and I sit there and I record your signs? Who cares? You're holding up 30 signs. You got 15 people over here doing all this. Who cares if they know what you're doing? Can you stop it? If I'm running a sweep and I say, hey, we run a sweep right, guess what you're going to have to do? You got to stop sweep right. And if you can't stop sweep right, guess what's going to happen? They're going to continue to run sweep right until you figure out a way to stop it. Now, on the flip side of that, offenses steal signs too. They want to know if a defense lines up like this, is this backer coming? Or is this safety blitzing? Or are they too high, a single high safety? Are they running zone or are they blitzing? Are they zone dogging? Are they running man-to-man? Are they running 3 under? All these different defense, they want to know. And they know. So if the thing is, we're going to stop them and they're going to make a big deal out of stealing signs like this, some damn baseball and the Houston Astros, because that's what they're trying to make it into. They're trying to relate this to the Houston Astros with nothing having to do anything with the Houston Astros stealing. So it don't matter, bro. It don't matter. It's much to do about nothing. Right. And it's just a sign that the NCAA has been trying to get Jim Harbaugh since he started satellite camps years ago.
Exactly.
They've been at him since he started satellite camps. They couldn't get him with the satellite camps. Now NIL's in. Now NIL in, he can really do whatever the hell he wants. They do not like Jim Harbaugh. Listen, neither do I. Okay? I'm not a Michigan fan. I hate Michigan. But still, bro, this is ridiculous. And like Big H.O. said, y'all just gonna drive that man to the damn NFL, and there's some doggone GMs sitting in the NFL like, about damn time, boy. We've been waiting on you to come back.
Yep.
Right. And Jim Harbaugh is so stubborn that he was going to stay in Michigan just to piss y'all off. I make $10 million a year. I'm starting to make the playoff. I'm just going to be here to piss y'all off. And that's all he's doing now. But now with these allegations, and they're going to drum up something to bring up some charges against him to somehow make them forfeit games or forfeit wins, it's going to happen. And that's going to make him leave. And Michigan will go right back to the toilet where they belong.
Well, he gone. I bet you this is it. He's tired of it. I agree with you 100%. Like I said, this is the last nail. He's gonna wave bye.
Does he go to Washington because they say Rivera's on the hot seat?
Oh, he did. That seat burning.
Oh no, that's no. Magic Johnson's giving that to offense coordinator. That's Bill Bellamy. I'm not Bill.
Eric Bieniemy.
Oh no, I'm just messing with it. But no, Eric Bieniemy is gonna get that job all day.
You think he in it?
Oh, yeah. Magic Johnson already said it. There's no way that they'll hire another white coach. He's going to be black. The coach of the Washington Commanders will be black, and it will be Eric Bieniemy.
Okay. All right. D. Will said it. We'll see what says. I don't trust the NFL with him. They did. We'll see. It's something about Bieniemy. He should have been a head coach.
Hey, Magic Johnson, man. Magic Johnson. I think that's the difference. There were no black owners to hire him. It's a black owner that's gonna hire him now.
Yeah, but I don't know, where is Magic? Magic's percentage of that program or that franchise. I don't think he's controlling interest in it, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's not, but he's Magic Johnson. You feel me? If Magic Johnson comes out and says we want Eric Bieniemy, oh, they getting Eric Bieniemy.
Okay,
and he's all but said that already.
You see what Maceo put it in the chat? Do y'all agree with that?
They've been separated for years.
Yeah, they showed cheating on them. They got 3-4 different women. So
right. They didn't file the paperwork, but yeah, they've been separated. They married but separate.
Yeah, they going down the street. They got a bunch of different baby mamas. They flying women in from all over time.
All right. So then my last question before we end is what's called outside of the top 10. Let's just go to the Pac-12. Oregon. Well, hold on. Let's go back to I said Ohio State will be 1 or 2. I think Florida State will be in there, and I think Georgia will be in there, and I think that Michigan will be in there. Those are my 4 right now that will be the top 4 going into next week. I think that's how the ranking will be. But now, who has a better chance of sneaking in? Oklahoma, Texas, Oregon, or Washington?
I still think Oregon, because I think if Oregon plays Washington again, I think they might beat them. But Oklahoma had another good win. I think they're right around the chicken coop, waiting on something to come out. They're undefeated. They beat Texas in a huge game on national television. So I think that's one feather in their cap. You know, with Texas going into Tuscaloosa, that kind of ties into that. They beat the team that went in and beat Bear Bryant boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a big feather.
In the catbird seat.
What's that?
Maybe I should have said who's sitting in the catbird seat.
Well, in the catbird seat is still you guys that are undefeated. Don't get me wrong. Now they're still sitting there. They went out, they're gonna get in. But Oklahoma's sitting right there. And again, Oregon still would decide their own fate. All they had to do is run the table and beat Washington in their title game. You know, and I think they're going to get in. So that'll be that. They're going to get somebody out of the West. The Pac-12 had been isolated and left out so long that now they're the team, they're the conference that everybody says is the best conference. So quiet's kept, but I don't think they'll get 2 in because I can't even say that, because if Oregon does beat Washington, there has been a precedent set where a conference got 2 teams in. So if you get the champion in and a 1-loss team out of the best conference supposedly in America, it might get 2 teams in the playoff.
They ain't getting 2 teams.
They might be will. They got the best conference. They got all the teams. Look at all the teams that they claim are the best teams in the nation right now. They all say the Pac-12 is the deepest and the toughest conference out there.
Look, if you look at the top 25,
they're throwing a farewell party.
No, it's definitely a farewell party.
Hey, so
if you look at the top 25, though, go ahead, Hanjo.
Are we gonna poo on Utah?
Yeah, they done. They without a quarterback, they're not doing that. They got beat. Yeah, I don't see Utah getting in there.
And like I say, listen. The Pac-12 is nowhere near the best conference. Not at all. It's like if we're gonna give best conference to anybody, let's go Big Ten, right? Big Ten has the most teams in the top 10, top 25, right? They have the most top-heavy teams, right? And even though Washington and Oregon are there, ain't nobody trusting them, right? They don't have the past resumes to hold them up, right? And there's no way, unless the SEC implodes. I mean, completely implodes, meaning Georgia loses this weekend to Florida, Alabama loses to LSU and Auburn, and then they turn around and Georgia loses in the SEC championship game. That's the only way that they'll get 2 teams in, right? I mean, it has to be a complete implosion on the part of the SEC for them to get in, right? Because if Georgia runs the table and loses to Alabama, and say Alabama runs the table and beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, you best believe it's going to be a fight to keep Georgia out. Because how are you going to keep the back-to-back national champion 1 loss in the SEC championship game against Alabama? How are you going to keep them out? SEC will get 2 teams in if that's the scenario, y'all. I don't care what's going on the West Coast. I don't care.
We'll see. I think
you know for a fact they will never put in 2 Pac-12 teams. It will not happen. It never has been close. Hell, they ain't even had a team in the 4 in a few years. They're not about to put 2 in.
That's my point, D. Will. And my point is they have been shut out of this party for years. They hadn't had it in the one thing he did say they are going away. But I'm telling you, that game that Washington and Oregon had on national TV catapulted them and said these are 2 of the best football teams in the country. If they both go undefeated the rest of the way, and Oregon barely beats Washington, let's say it comes down to the wire. Now, if they wipe the floor with Washington, it might be different. But they're going to get a team out of that Pac-12. And if
Oregon already has 1 loss. So are you taking a 1-loss Bama or a 1-loss Oregon? You taking a 1-loss Georgia or a 1-loss Oregon if they run the table?
If that 1-loss Oregon team beats Washington, a team that's undefeated and ranked 1 or 2 in the nation, I'm telling you, Oregon, because they're going to go back up. Because you got to look at what's going to happen.
Georgia will be 1.
Hold on, it's going to be Georgia's going to go up. Georgia's going to be there. They're going to be.
But I'm saying if Georgia loses to Alabama,
Bama is going to take a bad. I'm going to tell you what they're waiting to drop Alabama. That's been. But if they
run the table, you can't drop them.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, if it comes down to Oregon and Alabama, or Washington and all that, they're going to get those 2 Pac-12 teams in there. I'm telling you.
So you saying they'll put them in over an SEC championship, Bama?
This year.
Hell no, man.
He will. They talk about it all the time. They keep saying that they're the best. They're saying they're the best conference in America. They keep saying it every week.
I don't know who you listen to, because I ain't heard that.
You ain't heard them say that?
No,
okay.
Not that.
Okay. I've been hearing it all year. That the Pac-12 is the best conference.
When USC was still relevant, now that USC has fell off the map, they're no longer relevant. Nobody's saying Pac-12 is the best conference. They were the best conference when they had multiple teams in the top 10. They no longer have that. They only got 2.
That is a true statement. I agree with that. But I'm just telling you what I keep hearing and what I'd heard. And if Oregon beats Washington at the end of the year, and they're both undefeated the rest of the way, and it's a close game, this is what I'm saying. If it's a close game coming down to the wire, they're not going to penalize Washington for losing to a team, the only loss in the country that they had. And they're not going to penalize Oregon either for going and losing at Washington in that game. I'm
That's
telling you,
man.
They're not going to.
Hey, so
That's
let me break this up just a little bit. This is what I heard today. I heard Clemson hired a social media firm.
They didn't get rid of Dabo, man.
Huh?
They didn't get rid of Dabo, man. Dabo need to go on run with Trump, man. Get on that.
I'm hearing that if they trying to find a conference to go to, but they got one more year on the ACC. But if Florida State and Clemson make a move to the SEC say they're gonna have to go back to the table because that's too much money. They're not making enough money to split with 2 more extra teams. So what's y'all thoughts on that?
You said the SEC said they're not making enough?
The SEC said they ain't making enough if they add 2 more teams, 18 team. Is it 18 if they add 2 more?
There'll be a 16. It'll be an 18. There'll be an 18.
Yeah. So they saying that they have to go back to ESPN and say, y'all have to give us some more money because we add 2 more teams and we want to keep our same pay rate that we at now.
Yeah, I see where you're going. I think Dabo has just hurt the brand of Clemson. Right? I think that he's really put Clemson in a conundrum to where nobody really wants them. You know what I mean? Like, nobody really wants Clemson because they were so arrogant and pompous when they were winning. Like, Florida State has been down for so long, and now they're ascending. That means they are a program on the rise. Yeah, the SEC want that. Clemson is a program on the decline. We don't really want to touch you, right? So I think Clemson has put themselves in a position where they're going to wind up having to stay in the ACC because where are you to go? ACC just added all these West Coast teams. Where are you going to go? The Big 12? You know, the Big 10, they greedy. They might add them, right? Like, the Big 10 don't care. They want it all. So the only place they could really go is the Big 10. And does Clemson really want to do that? Is it really lucrative for Clemson to do that? Because Clemson's been the only show in the ACC forever. So they've been raking in all the money, right? Now, we understand that it's a profit sharing and profit revenue between the conferences, but the big dog still is the big dog. And Clemson's been the big dog in the ACC for a lot of years. So I just think they're putting themselves in a position to where nobody really wants them because their program is on the decline. That's what makes Florida State so sexy right now for the SEC. However, we know about the money and how much it's going to cost for Florida State to leave the ACC. And we understand that Florida State is claiming broke. They ain't got no bread, whatever. They ain't trying to hear that. So I get all that part. But however, the SEC, if they are to look to add teams, it will be Florida State. However, they're going to have to go back to ESPN because the profit revenue share for 18 teams will not be the same for 16 teams. Exactly. So they will have to go back to the drawing board. So it's a lot of red tape and politics that's going to go on. But I just think Clemson's in a position to where literally nobody wants them.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we're going to turn the page, fellas. Let's jump into our ballers and busters now. But before we do that, I do have to read some of this breast cancer, these facts. D-Will, did you know that men can actually get breast cancers, although it is less common in men? But in 2020, it was 2,800 cases of men getting breast cancer. As we went our breast cancer search tonight, I had Mo send you one, and but I just had to read that fact. So we're doing Breast Cancer Awareness Month tonight, and early detection is through regular mammograms and self exam. Check the lumps, check for bumps and lumps and things of that nature. So, ladies, please go get your tatas checked. If you haven't set the appointment, please go do it. Set your appointment. As somebody has said, you got to go put your tatas in the vice grip. Hey, it is what it is to protect that awful disease. But now it's time to get into some ballers and busters. I guess I'll go first. My baller is my fantasy team. I don't want 4 straight, so I had to tell nephew I had to get him this week.
I saw you had to take care of.
Yeah, tell nephew I had to get him this week. So my fantasy, my baller goes out to my fantasy team. I don't want 4 straight 4 straight. So yeah, that's
you almost as hot as them Stevie J.
Yeah, I got you this week. See, like, yeah.
Looking forward to
it. What you got? What you got for your ball?
Look, man, something that I keep, I thought, but I guess I learned that Patrick Mahomes is still the man in the NFL. I'm going Patrick Mahomes, man. Patty threw for 400 yards this past week. Threw for 424 yards, 32 out of 42, 4 touchdowns. What else is there to say, man? I mean, I don't know why or how Kelsey is open all the time, but he open more than the quick trip. I just can't understand it. It doesn't matter what happens. The play can break down. It's like they got some kind of mental telepathy to where he'll stop and Mahomes knows which direction he's going to go. He just appears. And there's nobody sometime within 10 yards of him. I cannot understand it. I don't know what they can do that other teams can't do, but they find a way to keep plays alive, keeps drives going. And I got to give it to him, man. Patrick Mahomes, man. He is the baller.
Yeah, and I got that kid Rice on their team too, so I picked him up in the fantasy league. So I got to pop my collar for Rasheed Rice. All right, D-Will, what you got for your baller this week?
Hey, man, I got a baller A and a baller B, and they're kind of tied together, okay? My baller A is Jalen Milroe. For the flag that kid is caught all year about his ability to not throw the football, if you watch him play, if you give him time, he is a very good passer of the football. Short, intermediate, or deep. The problem was the Alabama offensive line wasn't giving him enough time to actually throw the football. He went 14 for 21, 220, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception this past weekend against Tennessee. However, that's not the stat that I think made him a baller. The stat that made him a baller was coming out in the second half down 20-7 after halftime. Jalen Milroe came out, went 3 for 3, 109 yards with a touchdown. I mean, he straight showed that he has the ability to play the quarterback position in college. And if they give him enough time, he's going to be successful. So he was my baller of the week for the way he persevered and brought that team back against Tennessee this past Saturday. But my baller B, did y'all see that game against the Dolphins and the Eagles? How many damn Alabama players was on the field? My Lord! Nick Saban, you are my baller of the week. I see why we couldn't lose no games years ago. We had so many damn NFL players. It's ridiculous. I mean, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Tua, Jalen, Julio, Landon Johnson. Like it is littered with Alabama players that night between the Dolphins and the Eagles, and it was a sight for y'all sore eyes, but my pretty eyes. I loved it, and that's my ball of the week is the Alabama Crimson Tide program under Nick Saban over the last 17 years, and all of the doggone NFL players that they have produced, and not only players but NFL stars that they have produced over the years.
If I was a GM and I started my league, I would not leave the SEC. I'm just gonna be honest. Georgia and Alabama got players. You look at Philadelphia; they taking my advice. They picking every Georgia player they can off of where you can find, and Alabama players also. But you look, it's SEC all over the place. I just don't understand what
the Eagles got an apartment up in Athens, up at 316.
Why would you go anywhere else if you look? They for the last 2 years they had the top defense in the country, and they went out and tried to get everyone they could off of it. They got an undrafted guy playing. They got everybody. They going to get them. So I would continue to. I would just get. That's what I said about the Falcons for years. I don't understand. I would have been going right to Tuscaloosa, and I've been going to Athens every week and building my team with these guys. It's a reason. They the top recruiting team. They recruit that type of athlete. Why not go get them?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't get the top one, get the second or third one. He probably better than the one you go drive.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Todd Gurley too late.
Yeah, exactly. You that's stupid. He was done when they got it.
Exactly. All right, here's my buster for this week. And I'm glad I done held this. I done held this from Sunday to Wednesday. And I'm glad I got. If you're a son of a coach, that makes you a coach hand. And I know D. Will is the coach because it says it on this thing here. So my buster this week is all these Atlanta Falcons groups that I'm in saying that we're not satisfied with a W. At least I'm not satisfied with just a W. I'm more concerned about how you play than just playing. Like I said the other day, Tampa Bay hit knocked the 8 ball in. They just lost. And let me give you the scenario. D. Will, you're a coach. Hancock, you're a son of a coach. And I'm sure your dad done this. How many times have you still got punished even though you won the game? Because you didn't do it the way that the coach wanted you to do it. If you still turning the ball over, you should be in the monkey drill Mondays and Tuesdays. If you still doing the things that I asked you not to do, you still should be running laps and miles all the way around. I know I've been in a situation where I asked my coach, why are we being punished if we got the W? You didn't win the way we told you to win. You didn't win the way we supposed to execute it during the week. So my bust is to all of them, not to the team, but to them who don't understand that.
Okay. Well, my bust is the New York Giants. You pay a quarterback $160 million who, I mean, I don't even have to keep saying it was ridiculous to come out and pay that dude, but you won't pay your best player on the team $10 million. He has to jump through hoops and get incentives just to get up to the $10 million range, and I don't even think he made it.
And he might have injury incentives because he may not get all of that.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. You're right, but yeah, that now you got Tyrod Taylor, who comes in and gives you a better chance. I think you won what? They're 2-5 now, or 2-4 now, something like that. But Tyrod at least gives them a fighting chance. A journeyman football player who's better than your $40 million quarterback, and I think Tyrod makes $5 million a year. So now you're gonna be pressed and probably lose the locker room because when Jones is healthy, you got to put him back in because you can't pay him $40 million to hold a clipboard and pay a guy $5 million unless you just, Daniel Jones is walking down steps and you trip him and hurt him and keep him from coming back. You got to find a way to keep him in concussion protocol or something. because he does not need to play. So anyway, my buster is not Daniel Jones because he's making out like a bandit. My buster is the New York Giants.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going with my same method as my baller. I got a Buster A and a Buster B. And my Buster A is a piggyback off Hancock. My Buster A is the New York Giants, but for a completely different reason. My Buster A is that how is Tyrod Taylor the first black quarterback to ever win a game for the New York Giants in their history?
Wow.
In the history of the entire franchise. They've been playing football since 1925. And this is the first time a black quarterback has ever won a game for the New York Giants? Boy, stop. Y'all tell me that ain't some bite of racism. It's impossible. They got to be the only franchise in the NFL that had a black quarterback win a game for them. Meaning they ain't never paid no black quarterbacks. Right? But you gave Daniel Jones $40 million. I digress. I'm going on to my Buster B. They don't even deserve the time. My Buster B, Deshaun freaking Watson. I hate you, Deshaun Watson.
Ooh.
You are killing me. Don't get a massage. That's what you need to do. You're better at getting massages than playing quarterback, son. You're bad. I don't want to hear about your shoulder. Go get a massage on the shoulder. If it's hurting so bad, go get it worked out. The boy had negative fantasy points last week. Oh my goodness. He had negative fantasy points, bro. And I put that bust in the game. And he gave me negative points. I'm done with Deshaun Watson. If anybody out there wants Deshaun massage Watson, come get him. You can have him. I'll take Daniel Jones for him. Y'all dog it. Get off my fantasy team, Deshaun Watson. He my buster of the week.
Boy, that was rough. Woo. Yeah, dang. What? So who's your backup quarterback?
Oh God, Gucci flip flops. Russell Wilson.
Is it true that Future is the offensive coordinator in Denver?
Yeah, he is. Wait, Gucci flip flop playing?
Russell's so done, man.
He's so done, bro.
He is so done, man.
Like, I'm just gonna throw in the towel on fantasy. Because y'all ain't gonna trade me nobody that's gonna help me.
That's cool.
It's got to be somebody. You just go in the portal, D. Will. Go out. Go out in the portal and recruit somebody, man.
Jeez, man. Hey, man, can I go get Caleb Williams? Can we go 2K? Can we go Madden and I go get Caleb Williams and put him on my fantasy team? Because that's about the best I can do. Because, boy, Deshaun Watson is done. And Russell Wilson is barbecue chicken.
They trash.
Trash. Hey, we're going to go Bubba Dub. We're going to go Bubba Dub. Trash.
Yeah. All right, man. So that's gonna end our bottles and busters. And now we're finna jump into this new segment, D. Will, that Hancock brought to our attention last week. What we thought, what we learned, what we now know. And you want to go ahead and start us off and get D. Will a little something about how that thing go?
Yeah, big homie. What I thought this week anyway was that Brock Purdy was better than what he was, but I surely found out he wasn't. But I had been saying, that he was not as good as I thought he was, because I thought he had a lot of talent around. And so what I thought was pretty much right. What I learned was that the Miami Dolphins are not an elite football team. The Miami Dolphins, when they go and they play Brutus Beefcake, they get punched in the nose. And this has happened twice when they played teams that had, let's say, a respected caliber of football that they played in Buffalo. And then again, when they played against the, who was that they played? The Niners. Who was that they played? Niners, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They got beat up. So in both instances, I found out that.
No, they played Buffalo.
I mean Buffalo. They played Buffalo the first loss, but then they turned around and played again. Who they play? Philly. I'm saying
Philly.
There was Philly, and Philly busted their nose.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that they are not an elite football team. And what I know is kind of piggybacking on what I said before. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are still the class of the AFC. So what I thought, what I learned, and what I know from this past weekend are those three things.
All right, I'll go second. What I thought was Kirk Cousins was trash. What I've learned that if you put people around him and give him an offensive coordinator, Kirk Cousins is the most sought after quarterback at the training today. So what I do know now is that if you put pieces around him with a competent offensive coordinator, Kirk Cousins is pretty damn good.
I like that, big homie. They all of them tied in right. That's beast. That's beast. I like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, he's the most talked about trade person today going into the trade deadline.
And I they won the other night, but I don't know if Jefferson is going to come back and play this year. I don't think I would if I was him, because I think he's coming up on a contract year. So why come back out, especially if you don't have anything to play for and win? So why would Minnesota? They need to reset their clock as far as their quarterback. Go ahead and trade him. I think there are a lot of trades out there that are kind of on the line. And we talk about even Derrick Henry. Where could he end up? Because Tennessee is not going to do anything. He should be. They should put him on the block and move him now. So I think we can look around the NFL. There are a lot of teams out there with some guys that might need to just be moved and let's start this thing over. Devontae Adams.
They said they weren't going to trade him.
They should.
That's what they said.
I know, I heard, but I said, why should they hold him?
Yeah, I agree. Look at Marky.
You want to trade Watson for Kirk Cousins?
Hey, D. Wheeler do it in fantasy
right now, today.
So if Kirk Cousins was traded to the Jets, what do you think that works? You think that could work out?
All day long. That would change the whole dynamics of that franchise today if Kirk Cousins. Now, I get it. Coming in, you got to learn a new system. You got to get antiquated to the locker room. All those type things. It would take an adjustment period, but they'll be much better off than they are right now.
Yeah.
If they had Kirk Cousins, I really do. They should have made that move as soon as Aaron Rodgers sat down on the cart. They should have made that move because they know they got the assets to make it happen. They should have made it happen, and since they didn't, they're in a world of trouble.
Yeah. What about a team like the Baltimore Ravens going out and finding a real number one receiver? Because OBJ is gone. Let's just be real.
Yeah, he's cooked.
What if Devontae Adams get traded to the Baltimore Ravens?
Let me stop that one right there. Instead of wide receiver, how about Saquon Barkley going to Baltimore?
A dual threat that can do it all. And now you taking the onus off Lamar Jackson to be your leading rusher every night.
Exactly.
Now you get to preserve Lamar Jackson.
You're giving Lamar Jackson 3 to 4 more years of playing time.
You run a zone read with Saquon and Lamar, and that end got to make a decision. Oh my God. And then, oh my God. So
and listen, they don't have a number one wide receiver in Baltimore. Those guys can still take the top off the defense.
Yeah, Zay Flowers is coming though.
Zay Flowers is coming. Nelson Aguilar still can't catch a cold.
No.
Like, he's horrible. Like, he couldn't even, what that boy said when he was in Philly, he couldn't even catch, he caught the baby out the window. Unlike Nelson Aguilar, like that guy, I don't understand how you're making millions of dollars and your hands that damn bad. Like, he cannot catch, right? He might be fast, he might run good routes, but he can't catch. So to give him, I like the Derrick Henry move to the Ravens also because any running game to go along with with Lamar Jackson and the threat that he is in the running game, like you say, that zone read that they run is now a problem, a real problem. And with guys like Zay Flowers being able to take the top off the defense, I like it. And I think that will be a big addition. Just give him another weapon, whether it's from the running back position or from the wide receiver position. It will really help out Baltimore.
And you think about it, if you had a back, let's say Saquon or Derrick Henry, when you put that ball in the belly of that running back, that means the linebacker has to set a second. They got to see if the ball is being handed out, whatever. Think about now what happens with your tight end getting behind the linebackers and in between the safeties, how much room it is, because you just talked about Zay and everybody taking the top off. You see the space that's going to be created with Mark Andrews now?
Oh, man. The seam wide open. The seam is going to be wide open.
So, yeah, I could see that. But I'd be a little more selfish. I would love to see Derrick Henry in the Cowboys. He needs to have that star on his helmet. You know, that intersect. Now Dak turns around and hands the ball off to a beast. And we saw what happened. What made Dak a quality quarterback at any time is because he could turn around and hand it to Zeke when Zeke was Zeke. Mm-hmm. And that's what he needs. He needs a run game, a tight end. He needs those people. And I do like Tony Pollard, but like I keep saying, to me, Tony Pollard is a change of pace back. He's not that thumper or that I think he's going to wear down. What made him fresh and why his carries, I heard a stat today, he was averaging 6 yards a carry in the fourth quarter prior to this year. Now with having to be the lead dog toting it all the time, his yards per carry are down to 3 in the fourth quarter. So that just tells you what I'm talking about. As he goes, he's wearing down. You know, it just is what it is. So I think they do need a thumping big-time back to hit it up in there and then use Tony where he's effective, you know, as that change of pace, as that scat, as that get outside the tackle. He's not a run between the tackle back. He shouldn't be doing that. Not constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, D. Will, you got one? You got a
all right, what say, give me my order again.
What you thought, what you've learned, and what you now know.
Oh, and I heard Hancock give you props on tying your three together, right? You know, by making them all flow. So I'm gonna try to do my best to make them all flow, right?
Okay.
My first one was what I thought, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
What I've always thought is that it was Josh Allen was overrated. What I've learned is that Josh Allen is overrated. And what I know is that Josh Allen is damn overrated. You're going to sit here and tell me that Josh Allen is the next GHW or GWH, if you know what I mean. And he is bad. Ever since Brian Dable hightailed it to New York or down south to the city from Buffalo, we have seen a completely different Josh Allen. He's had flashes of being good, but what I thought is that Josh Allen is over freaking rated. Period.
Ooh. Okay.
D. Will, that's what I'm talking about. Bring that fire,
That's
baby.
fine, D. Will. That's fine.
On your first one. So now I got you, Hancock. Let me go before I know you got another one. But this goes back to basketball last night. What I thought was Chris Paul was the ultimate point guard. What I've learned was Chris Paul kind of selfish. What I now know is Chris Paul want to ring so bad he'll do anything to try to outshine Steph and Clay in Golden State. How are you going to be the new addition to the team? You got Steph and Clay on your team, and who takes the first shot of the season last night?
Yeah, he took it. He took that little mid-range jumper off the baseline.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. That's
0 for 6 from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
When have we seen Chris Paul shoot 6 threes in a game, y'all?
He's stunned.
Come on, man. He's trying to fit he's trying to be a square peg and fit into a round hole, right? And they're trying to be so, lovey-dovey that they're telling him, oh, we just want you to be you, Chris. Hell no, Chris. We don't need you to be you. We need you to come over here and fall in line and do it the Warriors way, because the Warriors way works. And I'm telling you, when that fool Draymond Green get back on the court, Chris Paul ain't gonna be doing this, y'all. I'm sorry to tell you this.
He gotta go. He gotta come off the bench. If they really want to try to make this thing work, he gotta play with the second unity with. That's what he has to do. But this, now you can hear me, and I'm glad you can. This is what I was saying before. I think Golden State overplayed their hand with the draft picks they got, and Wiseman didn't pan out. They admitted to that. Mm-hmm. But they still trying to make Kuminga be the next dude. Mm-hmm. And I think they need to move him before the shine wears off. If they really want to make another run with this group that they got, where they might have a little tread on their tires, they're just not big enough, D-Will. They're not athletic enough. So you need to go out and make this move. You might have to move Moody too. You might even have to move Wiggins. But you got to, in order to build this team to get some players, you got to get some size to combat the Jokic. Somebody that can at least change the shot sometime. Keep him off the board. You know, you don't have a chance. You got to keep, when AD does play, off the board. You got to have somebody that bangs with LeBron somewhere. You got to have somebody that can go and look Booker in his eye. At least you're not going to stop him, but at least pull on his cape. Mm-hmm. Right now, you don't have enough. So I think if they really want to do something, they got to make a move with some of these guys to get something there. Because right now, as constituted, that run is over. It's a wrap.
Hey, listen, Draymond can't guard everybody.
He can't.
He can't guard everybody at the same time. So you're going to have to get some help in there, because they are just, like you said, Han, they're too small.
Too small.
And I'm going to tell you like this. I agree with getting off Kuminga, right? I agree with that. I agree with getting off Andrew Wiggins. I agree with that. I don't agree with getting off Moses Moody.
I like Moody too. But
I ain't getting off Moody.
I agree. I love it. I love Moody. But they're not using him right. So if you're not using him, why keep him?
He had a good game last night.
But they took him out early when he was like he was running.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're taking it, you're not giving him it. He's been at the team now 3 years now. He should be more of a piece if he's gonna be a piece. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
He's played in playoff games, he's played in championship series against the Celtics and had some good quality minutes. So if you're not gonna trust him now, when are you gonna trust him? You might as well move him.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. But as far as the Lakers are concerned, man, it's what I did know and what I always thought. AD ain't that dude, man. He ain't got no ticker, y'all. Ain't no Valentine in there, y'all.
Hey,
ain't no heart.
Han. His heart was taken when he went to Kentucky and he let them boys stick their finger in their booty. I don't care. Oh, you ain't coming back from that, bro. You ain't coming. We know you ain't got it. You soft. When you let somebody stick their finger, come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. He need to go see the Wizard, man. He need to get a heart, man. He doesn't have. Look, he scored no points in the second half last night. None. How you get a 0?
6 shots. 6. With LeBron James only playing 29 minutes. 6.
So hold on. You mean
he should have went to the bench and cleared every cup off of the scores table, acted a fool. If you're not gonna give me the ball, I'm bringing it up. I'm doing whatever I can. You can't come in and say that he's gonna be the focal point. We're moving. It's his team. And then he gets 0 points in the second half.
You mean tell me we went through this whole show and then talk about a man who makes $62 million and then score a point in the second half?
It's ridiculous. That's
ridiculous. He don't deserve to be talked about.
Speaking of bigs, can we talk about this Dwight Howard situation?
You can. Go ahead and expound on that, big homie.
Well, allegedly, gotta say the word allegedly, he has been what is this? An assault charge. He's been accused of a assault charge with another young man that was consensuous. Is that a word? That's the word I'm looking for?
Nah, consensual. Listen, hey, listen,
Yeah.
hey, listen. I like Dwight Howard, so this hurts me, right? Right? And what court were these papers filed in? That's the only problem I got. Like, y'all remember the situation that happened with Dwight Howard with the text messages that was supposed to be with a transgender a while back? And those transcripts came out to be fake, that the transgender had made all that stuff up and put it out there, right? That it never really happened. And Dwight Howard caught flack for that, and the stigma has stuck with him. Where these court papers came from? Because only thing I see is a transcript. I don't see no official seal from the state of Georgia, from the state of California, from the state of New York, wherever the state is that these papers were supposedly filed in. I don't see that seal of approval, right? Now, Dwight Howard is not to be exonerated in this because, bro, you just had too many fugazi things happen to you while on national TV putting your hand in somebody's crotch and grabbing, right? Like, that's suspect, right? So the allegations are warranted. However, when you start using words like assault, sexual assault, bro, that's serious.
Yes.
That's not anything to be played with, right? So if that's the case, I need to know where these documents came from, bro. I need to see the official seal and the court case number, because if the charges have been filed and all of this documentation has been done, it's public record. I should be able to type this in on my computer and pull it up and read this without you posting it on social media. I hadn't seen that. So until I see that, I don't believe it. I know Dwight Howard's suspect, but I don't believe it. You're going to have to give me more than the transgender putting out the text messages or somebody putting out this alleged sexual assault case that's supposed to be filed in somebody's court, but nobody knows whose court is filed in. This must be in Miss Pat court or Steve Harvey court. Like, them ain't real courts to me. Like, you're going to have to give me something official before I start believing that. Because anything else, man, it's just like, you can't demean that man's name like that if it ain't happen. I don't care how suspect he's been over his career. I don't agree with that, especially when it comes to the term sexual assault. That's serious business.
It is. And D. Will, you talked about that particular one. I sent Big Homie something that I had heard online, and I can't. This is all alleged, but there was a time when James Harden was holding a party while he was still at Houston.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he had been dating this one young lady in particular, and he had good feelings for her. And apparently, at this particular party, Kelly Oubre Jr. attended the party.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately that night, supposedly and allegedly, left with the young lady that James Harden had fallen for. And to put her cherry on top, now is married to the young lady and has kids by the young lady. Now, that's not the real caveat of the story. The real caveat of the story is Daryl Morey is Richard Petty Sr. because he, in the offseason, took all this flack from James Harden, with James Harden saying that they have irreconcilable differences. They can't get past all this. So what did Daryl Morey do? He went out and signed Kelly Oubre Jr. So I give Daryl Morey, King Petty of 2023.
Hey, Hancock.
Yes, sir.
That story not supposed to make the light of day. we supposed to think James Harden hurt because he didn't get his money.
Right.
Not because Kelly Oubre hit his chick. That's bad. Oh, James Harden simped all the way out. Oh Lord. Kelly Oubre is I done heard of Kelly Oubre a monster.
Well, he turned Frankenstein on James Harden, that's for sure. And like I said, Daryl Morey said, checkmate, partner. You ain't going nowhere, and guess who's gonna be your teammate all year?
Yep.
Ain't that so?
Yes.
You're gonna get to see these kids every day.
Hey,
Yes.
speaking of online, they had this viral video go around about this young lady who first date didn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And now
matter of fact, she didn't want to go nowhere.
Well, she was an hour late anyway, so she probably should have got left. And now they done come out with a whole list of places that people done called in about saying they don't want to go, that you shouldn't take it later on the first date. Y'all two excluded, y'all married, so y'all don't count. But I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that. Just real quick before we get up out of here.
Thank God I'm married and I don't got to deal with this ratchetness that's out here in these streets today. Because for a chick to say it's 28 places she don't want to go, but you can't tell me one you do except shopping, girl, you lost your damn mind.
Well, I can help her because I'm not taking her to the 29th place either.
Yep. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Boy, that's tough. All right, man. I'm trying to find the outro music.
Hey, man, I got to say this real quick while I'm watching this game. Derek White looks horrible with that bald head.
I didn't even know who he was. I said, who is that?
I didn't know who it was either.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Like,
Man,
I don't know if light-skinned brothers should have no bald heads.
Hey, dude, he need to go find my boy Nick Cannon, get one of them turbans or something.
Hey, man, listen. Just do the LeBron James and paint your hairline on. Just do that.
Dude. You got to commend him for finally letting it go, though, man. God.
Facts.
Yeah, because
there you go. Only hopefully that the girl will go get a mammogram.
Do that.
Do that.
All right, I got a couple of more facts that we got to give out before we get up out of here. Risk factors while being a woman is the most significant risk factor for breast cancer. So please tell your aunties, your sister, your mother, your grandmother, please go get your tatas checked. Survivorship. More people are surviving breast cancer more than ever these days. There are $33.8 million breast cancer survivors up to date. So
that's
there you
awesome.
go. You get educated through the SRT crew.
Yeah. And then I need to say something on my behalf, big homie. And this is, I know we're celebrating or talking about breast cancer awareness, but to two of my brothers here, I just want y'all to know I'm celebrating a year of kicking cancer in the butt. I'm 100% cancer free right now. So, you know, you brothers, we got to get checked too. So as y'all get older, go out and make sure everything working right. So anyway, man, I just, my wife brought it to my attention. I didn't even realize it, but
there you go.
Just came up on that year's anniversary.
That's what's up, man. Congratulations, my brother.
Appreciate
take it to the Cheesecake Factory for an anniversary gift.
He taking somewhere for sure.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate that. But from Rose and SRT partnering up to bring awareness, breast cancer awareness to everybody. Go get your Tata check. All right, Han, you got congratulations over there.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
One thing about this now, we ain't got no time limit. We can keep going. That's what I like. Cause last week it was like 9:02. I was like, dog, I done let the time slip away. But I will say this. Shout out to D Will, shout out to Hancock. Congratulations, Han, for your anniversary date for kicking cancer in the butt. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Monique Harper, man, who continues to show us love and to show us all the love that she needs to show. And if you want a candle, go to Okoro's on IG, man, to get you some candles, man. The candles are smelling really, really good. So go to IG and order you some candles. Shoot her a DM. Tell her HO sent you over there. And don't forget to go to our website, srtradio.com is the website you can go to, and make sure you check out the old episodes and everything. So, and fellas, I had a podcast. I was on a podcast earlier today to promote the book. Yes, sir. They gave me about 30 minutes, and I was on the podcast.
That's what's up. Keep pushing it.
Yes, sir. I will. But that's all I got. Han, what you got?
Hey, man, again, just proud, man, to be walking around this earth feeling good. Happy to celebrate this with my folks, my people, sitting here talking sports, what I love. All the people out there, man, who are streaming with us, we appreciate that. And, man, let's just keep this thing going, baby.
All right, I got to set up a date for our NBA preview.
Okay, do that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, got to set up a date. All right, D. Will.
Yeah, man. Shout out everybody, man. Make sure y'all go check out guardyourman.org. That's guardyourman.org. We got a lot of big things coming up from our nonprofit, man. Also, go check out Eyeball Radio YouTube page. We drop constant content on there every single day, man. So go get caught up with what's going on in the world of high school basketball. Because as we know, high school basketball kicked off last week. We're about 2 weeks away from games getting started. So, and real quick, for all my high school basketball people out there, go get familiar with the new NCAA rules. The NCAA has changed the rule as of today, meaning an incoming freshman that gets a scholarship, your scholarship is now guaranteed. Meaning, a school, if they sign you, they're on the hook for you for at least 4 years. Good. So if you enter the portal and nobody takes you in the portal, you can say, I'm going back, and they have to honor your scholarship. So this is coaching. This takes away the power from the coaches and hands it over to the players, where a coach can't say anymore, oh, you didn't pan out for what I wanted you to be. Okay, get out of here. You're gone. I'm taking your scholarship. They can no longer do that, right? So now that that's happening, that's a good thing for the players. However, on the backside of that, it's really bad for high school athletes, because coaches are not going to recruit you. Because if I got to go get a freshman and be on the hook for him for 4 years, you better be ready to play. And if you're not ready to play, I'm not signing you. I'm going to go into the transfer portal and get me somebody else. So as it does hand power over to the players, it takes all the power away from high school athletes looking for an opportunity to go to the next level. So go familiarize yourself with the new rules of the NCAA, because they're about to change the way high school basketball is recruited.
There you go. And D. Will, speaking of high school basketball, I just saw the crystal ball prediction. It's up to 16 predictions now for my main man, Cooper Flag.
Oh, God.
All point
overrated. Overrated.
You think you're overrated for real, D. Will?
Yes. Yes. Bro, Cooper Flag played 16U this summer. All that we saw him do was against 16-year-olds, bro. He wasn't playing the top level of EYBL. He was playing E16. Stop it. No. If you're that guy, do it on the highest level. I'm not saying he's not good, but to say he's going to be compared to the next LeBron, to the next Kevin Garnett, boy, stop. Get out of here. I don't want to hear.
You didn't hear me say that.
No, I'm saying that's his comps. His comps are supposed to be that high. Nah, bro. I'm not giving him that.
I got to see him more. What I've seen, I've never watched him. Well, I did see him against, I think, Boozer's sons. I watched him play a little bit, and he was dominating that them from what
They're 2025s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He reclassified.
Babies.
Hey, H.O., you know why he reclassified? Because he reclassified when he was younger down. Now he just reclassifying back to his actual class. So he did that against guys he was older than this year. So pull back on that. Pull back on that.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's going to end the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Man, great show. We had some fire tonight. Yes, so we got to do it again. Wait till this basketball kickoff. We got some more fire for y'all. So you know how we do it. All right, Han, let's roll.
Boogie, I'm headed home, baby.
They call me coach because I teach you how to ball.
This your main man, H.O. from Bankhead. R.I.P. Moms and Pops. R.I.P. BC. And if you love the show,
tell a friend.
And if you didn't,
big homie, them Stevie J's coming for you this week, baby.
Come on, baby. Come on. Let's get it.
Peace.
All right, man. We out.
All right, babe.